Have you ever asked yourself if your spiritual practice is actually leading you toward liberation or if it's just reinforcing your ego? Have you ever felt lost or confused despite your sincere devotion? And most importantly, have you ever thought that your misunderstandings of scriptures might be the very thing sabotaging your path? Welcome back. Today, we journey into the wisdom of one of the most revered figures in Chinese Buddhism, Master Lianchi. His unwavering insistence on practicing in accordance with scripture wasn't merely a traditionalist's call. It was, and still is, a life-saving lighthouse for those adrift in spiritual illusions. This episode is not only about texts or doctrine, it is about why straying from the true meaning of Dharma can quietly derail your entire spiritual life. Let's start by unpacking this urgent truth. If your practice is not based on authentic scriptures, your faith may become superstition, and your path dangerously crooked. This is not a casual warning. It's a wake-up call. Master Lianchi lived during the Ming Dynasty and was known not just for his deep realization, but for his sharp critique of superficial and distorted spiritual practices. He saw people burning incense and praying with fervor, yet misunderstanding the very teachings they claimed to follow. He witnessed monks indulging in rituals but neglecting introspection. He saw lay people cherry-pick teachings to justify desires rather than challenge delusions. And so he raised a bold flag: return to the scriptures. Not just read them, live them. You might ask, why are scriptures so important? Can't sincere intention be enough? Isn't spiritual experience more valuable than ancient words? Let's look deeper. Scriptures are not outdated relics, they are maps, and like any map, if misread or ignored, you'll end up lost, sometimes even further from your destination than when you began. Imagine hiking a mountain. You've got your energy, your supplies, your desire to reach the peak, but instead of following the trail marked by experienced guides, you decide to go your own way. You take a shortcut, feels right, but hours later, you're disoriented, exhausted, and nowhere near the summit. This is what happens when we abandon the clarity of Dharma texts. Master Lianchi warned us even a small deviation in understanding, especially at the beginning, can have massive consequences later. Wrong belief about karma, casual dismissal of precepts, reinterpretation of rebirth as metaphor rather than reality. All these can quietly unravel the entire structure of genuine practice. So, what exactly did he teach? He emphasized that every method of practice must be supported by scriptural authority. Blind devotion without understanding is not true faith, it's delusion. Even meditation, when not grounded in proper view, can lead to more attachment. And perhaps most importantly, he taught that clinging to one's own interpretations without verifying them against canonical texts is a form of spiritual arrogance. This humility, this grounding in tested wisdom, is what preserves the integrity of the path. Let me ask you, have you ever heard someone say, "I don't need to read the sutras, follow my heart," or perhaps, "Buddhism is about being kind, that's enough"? These ideas sound innocent, even noble, but they're dangerous half-truths. Yes, compassion is core, but without the guidance of scriptures, your compassions might reinforce attachment. You might enable someone's delusion, thinking you're being kind, or your idea of following your heart might be chasing desire and not wisdom. the Heart Sutra, the Amitabha Sutra, the Diamond Sutra. These are not dusty scrolls. They are radiant beacons, forged through centuries of realization, preserved by lineages that saw their transform its power. Now, Master Lianchi didn't advocate for mere memorization. He wanted people to reflect, to internalize, to practice with clarity. Here's a powerful story from his biography. Lay practitioner once came to him, saying, "Oh Master, I chant the name of Amitabha every day, but I feel no peace, am still greedy, still angry, still afraid. Why?" Master Lianchi asked, "Do you know why you are chanting?" The man paused. "To be reborn in the Pure Land." "And what is the Pure Land?" the master continued. "A place without suffering, where the Buddha teaches," said the man. "And what makes one worthy to be born there?" the master pressed. The man hesitated. "A faith rooted in what?" the master said. The man was silent. And Master Lianchi said, "You chant Amitabha name with your mouth, but your mind clings to the world. You seek the Pure Land as an escape. What a transformation! Go and study the Amitabha Sutra. Not just read it, understand it, and chant again." This story strikes at the heart of modern spirituality. Too many of us seek comfort, not clarity. You chant without comprehension. You light incense without intention. You meditate without morality. And then we wonder why transformation eludes us. Master Lianchi's solution was radical in its simplicity: return to the source. This is not about being academic. It's about being authentic. When you study the sutras, you begin to see how the Buddha's teachings karma, rebirth, emptiness, and compassion are not random ideas, but an integrated path to liberation. And when you practice with that understanding, your chanting gains depth, or meditation becomes insight, or service turns into surrender. Let's go even deeper. Master Lianchi particularly emphasized the importance of scriptural grounding in the Pure Land tradition. Why? Because it had become popular among the masses, but was drifting into superstition. People thought that chanting Amitabha name mechanically guaranteed rebirth. They treated the Buddha like a genie and practice like a transaction. He reminded them, without understanding impermanence, without letting go of attachment, even Amitabha cannot help you, because Pure Land is not just a place, it's a state of mind cultivated through faith, vows, and practice, all grounded in the teachings. This is where many modern seekers go wrong. You cherry-pick teachings to suit our preferences. You reject karma because it feels uncomfortable. You redefine rebirth as metaphor because it fits our worldview. You say all religions are the same and dilute the precision of the path. But the Dharma is not an opinion. It's a diagnosis, signs of suffering and its cessation. And its integrity depends on precision. You wouldn't trust a surgeon who says, "I don't need medical texts, I follow my gut." Why do we trust spiritual teachers who say the same? Now let's return to your life. Ask yourself, is your practice grounded in Scripture? Do you verify what you hear with what the Buddha actually taught? Do you seek understanding or only comfort? If not, it's time to return to the texts, not as a scholar, but as a seeker. Start with the basics, read the Four Noble Truths, reflect on the Eightfold Path, study the Pure Land Sutras if you follow that school, read the Heart Sutra slowly, line by line. Then ask, how does this apply to my life? What does this reveal about my mind? Don't just believe teachers because they are charismatic. Examine their words. Is this in line with the teachings? Not out of doubt, but out of devotion to the truth. Pastor Lianchi's legacy is not about dogma. It's about discernment. It's about honoring the treasure we've been given, not altering it to fit our moods, but letting it alter us to fit the truth. So if you feel stuck, confused, or disconnected in your practice, consider this. Maybe it's not your ever that's lacking, but your foundation. And maybe the most transformative thing you can do today is to open a sutra, read with an open heart, and let the Dharma recalibrate your path. Or as Master Lianchi taught, scriptures are the is of the path. Without them, even sincerity may lead you astray.